we went from Roosevelt Field Mall to Target to pick up some stuff. Got some of that, some steaks, some Greek yogurt. Thank you. Alright, so we're finally in from the stores, picked up some groceries, so now we're actually cooking up some dinner. So I'll flip the camera around and show you guys what we're making. Alright, so we got some lettuce being shredded up here. Brittany is actually making some steak nachos, so just kind of letting the steak rest right now. And you're gonna throw it on there, probably with some cheese and stuff like that. Throw it in the oven, let it melt a little bit. I'm actually making up a taco salad, so pretty much the same ingredients that go on nachos, except mine's not melted with the cheese, it's all just mixed together, and then I'll use those to eat it with. So we'll show you guys when everything's all done. Damn, that looks so good, babe. Alright, so we're all cooked up. This is my final plate. Like I said, it's like a chicken taco salad. Threw some jalapenos on there. That's actually non-fat Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Some salsa, some Mexican cheese, some refried bean all mixed in there. And I'm just going to use the chips and scoop it up. And there's Brittany's final plate right there. Steak nachos with a homemade, what would you call that? Pico? Salsa?
Pico.
Some cherry tomatoes, green onion, white onion, what else in there? Lime juice.
Garlic, lime juice.
Garlic, and then just steak on each nacho, melted cheese. So these are our two plates. I'll admit, hers looks a little bit nicer than mine, but we're just going to enjoy this and watch some of the cooking channels. So we'll catch up with you guys a little bit later.
Jumped on the boards though to make quite a splash. It's just amazing. I love like the matching ensemble.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
Good morning, everyone. It is July 14th, Monday morning around 11 a.m. Right now, just making myself some breakfast. Got a pita toasting on the pan. Gonna make like a breakfast pizza and see how it comes out. If it comes out good enough, I will give you guys a recipe video on how I made it, but gonna keep this one really simple. Just do that as the crust and then probably some eggs and maybe a little salsa or something. But like I said, really simple on this one. Alright, we got our eggs scrambled up nicely, pita toasted. Gonna throw some cheese on there with some sriracha, and that will just be our simple breakfast pizza. Alright, let's try this with one hand. Some of this on there. And now, go back to the pan and get that cheese melted really quick. Alright, so to get that cheese to melt quick, what we're going to do is actually, really quickly, we got a lid right here. We're going to put a little bit of water on the pan to create steam and then throw the lid on top. And that will melt the cheese, and then we'll be good to go. That's what I'm talking about. Take that pizza. There we go. Boom. Breakfast pizza. What are you doing?
Cutting my dead ends. I need a haircut. Ooh, that's bad.
Nice. I should probably cut my dead ends too, right? Haircut tomorrow. I love getting haircuts. This is just unacceptable. I wonder what the back looks like. Yep, time for a haircut. And time for some food.
Yeah.
Pre-workout meal. Who knows what we're gonna eat? Alright, so I made some white jasmine rice in the rice cooker earlier, so I cooked that up. We got a little bit of steak going here. We're gonna do a steak stir fry with some Brussels sprouts and just kind of mix that all together in a bowl, and that's gonna be lunch and pre-workout meal. Alright, got everything tossed in together, and that is going to be lunch. Alright, so I think I finally made my first hippie-approved meal, as I get a lot of shit for using artificial sweetener or drinking diet soda, this and that, but I think we got it with this meal. I even threw in a mason jar with some fruit and regular water, no flavoring, so you guys should be proud of me for that one. Here, just some steak, rice, and Brussels sprouts, not steamable, so those were not in a bag. I actually cooked the Brussels sprouts. But what else can they get me for? Maybe the bowl that I'm using, or maybe because I'm using white rice. Either way, kept this meal very simple. Got some water there. Sitting here, watching some Bobby Flay. Many years of bartending to perfect that shake. What's going on, guys? Sitting in front of the gym right now, sipping on some Citadel Nutrition's Tier 1. Shout out to Mr. Campbell Fitness for hooking me up with a tub of this while I was up at Rhode Island. Taste, not too bad. Ingredient profile, I'm happy with it. Very short, simple ingredient list, effective dosages, and that's really all you can ask for in a pre-workout. So, enough to get the job done, starting off my workout with some front squats, followed by some shoulder press and other arm movements, but I think it's around 6 o'clock right now. Gym gets pretty crowded. I think I'm only going to try and film front squats today just because I want to be in and out, and setting up the camera, trying to avoid getting people in the background can be a pain in the ass sometimes and kind of cuts into my workout. So I really just want to throw the headphones on and focus, but I do want to film at least just front squats so I can get form critiques from all of you guys, and so I can look back myself and see what I need to improve on. So gonna head in there. Hopefully the squat racks are empty, or at least one of them is, so I can set up this camera, get squatting, and get filming. So I'll catch you guys after the workout. Alright, so like I figured, the gym was extremely crowded and I was only able to film 2 sets of my entire workout. So I got 2 sets of my front squats out of the 4 sets of 5. 2-second pause at the bottom. Big shout out to my buddy James for filming, man. I really appreciate that. And workout coming soon with him. Now, I was pretty happy with the depth of these front squats, to be honest. The bar was rolling off of my shoulders a little bit, so I'm still trying to play around with the form. As I'm not flexible enough to do the Olympic style grip with 2 fingers, I do the cross shoulder grip, and something I'm still getting used to, but again, overall I was pretty happy with the depth, and I was using my New Balance Minimus. A lot of people were asking how they feel during squatting, and that was my first time using them, so I will be doing a complete review of those sneakers, as I have deadlifted in them, I did sled pushes, and I've squat in them, so I can give a complete review, and that will be on the channel soon. But here's the last set that I did. I threw on the Addy Power squat shoes. I have them, so why not use them? I absolutely love these. And this set looked a little bit better in my opinion. My torso was pretty upright. There really wasn't much lower back rounding, and the bar path was almost completely vertical. So still working on them. Would appreciate any feedback if you want to leave a comment down below on any tips you may have. And that pretty much concludes the videos, guys. So thanks as always for watching. I appreciate the support. And to close this off, please say a prayer for this apple. Looks like someone lost a whole lot of micros. R.I.P. Sweet apple.